as we are coming to the closure, right? I want little bit of energy towards the end. I know, right? We're all equally tired, so a bit of boost. Okay. So tell me, friends, what is the difference between observation and seeing? Observing and seeing.
Seeing is just seeing. Observing is also inferring after seeing. Inference. Kind
Inference. Okay.
of.
Others, any other ideas?
When you observe, you can probably do the same thing again. Like, but when
Very
seeing,
good.
you will not be able to repeat it again.
The big difference is, friends, when you see, right, you're not conscious. You just see something happening, correct? Unless you make a note of what you see, right, it doesn't become observation. Observation, on the other hand, is you are mindfully seeing it. You're consciously doing something, correct? So your observation is your conscious ability to be in the present, seeing what that you are trying to do in a mindful manner, isn't it? Same thing for listening and hearing, right? I suppose the last 2 days you are all listening to me, not hearing me. Can I take that for granted? Yeah, right. So it is conscious, listen, consciously hearing about what is happening, right? Being in that moment, friends. Now, why am I bringing this topic at the last is because remember the whole creativity and agile thing I talked about. For us to be creative, for us to use the human intelligence to leverage the artificial intelligence, we need to be observant and listening, isn't it? Do you all agree? So can I quickly test your observation skills? Are you all ready? If you're all ready, I'm ready to test your observation skills. You have to type ready in the chat box. Only 2 people. 3. I want all that energy. All right. Let's get ready, okay? And with that, we'll start with the last topic, okay? So here it is. I'm sharing my screen and I'll tell you what you need to do, okay? And only once I will display it, friends. Okay. Let me add the screen. Okay. You're all seeing the full screen now, right? Okay. Before we get into the Atlassian intelligence topic, I want you guys to observe. All right. So there are 2 teams in this. Okay. There are 2 teams. One team is wearing black t-shirt, another is wearing white t-shirts, right? So you have to just count how many times the players wearing the white pass the ball. Okay. So let me test your observation and your time starts now. Ends. What will be your answer?
16.
Let's see your
Oh,
observation.
I thought
20.
10. 10.
14.
You have all counts available. Yeah. So the answer is 16. All right. So it happens because when we are completely right bound by so many other thoughts affecting, it happens, right? No worries. And tell me, did any of you observe one weird thing in that whole thing?
Yes, gorilla.
There was a gorilla actually. How many of you observed a gorilla? right?
Also.
Yeah. So when we are so bound by something, we lose the observation part. Right? All right, friends. So observation is the key to building creativeness, human creativeness, and with creativeness come better handling of AI, friends, right? So with that said, let's talk about the next thing called Atlassian intelligence, right? So how many of you heard of Atlassian? Atlassian is basically a major company, right? With comes with multiple products on of its, right? Like Jira, Confluence, their service management tool, their work management tool, Trello, Bitbucket, and so on, right? So they're all different tools of the same company called Atlassian. Now, what if everyone they are doing is, these products were there in the market right from the beginning, right from the time it got introduced, right? A lot of people would have been using Jira. Now, what each and every model, each and every product is using is they are building AI into the mix. How AI can support, right? That's the whole arena. Now, for that, let us first talk about how AI is being enabled within our Jira, right? How many of you use Jira? Who?
I do.
Okay. Anyone else? Jira is typically, what is Jira if you ask, right? It's a typical, what do you say, project management, or some people call it as an issue tracking tool, right? And especially for agile software development teams. Okay. So that's where all this user stories are created, right? And you add the test cases, you add the user stories, you assign the user stories to various team members, build it by sprint. Pretty much a lot of features, correct? And as I said, this is not a Jira session typical, correct? Because I'm not going too deep into the complete operational aspect of Jira, because that's usually covered as part of separate dedicated session. Here I'm just focusing on this Atlassian intelligence, right? That intelligence, how that AI is built into these Jira products, right? That's what they are terming this whole thing as Atlassian intelligence. It is nothing but the company Atlassian's AI components, AI engine that brings natural language understanding, content generation, workflows, automation, or what of all those kind of a products built into their products. That is what their concept of Atlassian intelligence is. Okay. Right. So anyone now people ask Atlassian intelligence means you should be familiar with that. Okay. So AI focus. So let's see, right? Typically an Jira tool, how does it look like, right? People who are familiar, they will know. Who are not familiar can take a quick look. And if you really need a complete comprehensive review of Jira that means please look for another, a dedicated workshop on Agile where, they talk about this Jira, right? So a quick glimpse into Jira here. So let me share my screen. Right? You all face this screen, correct? A bit of it, right? So as I said. Now, friends, you all know, especially people who are familiar, you all know, right? How do you normally normally use um, story, correct? How do you create a story? All the user stories. So normally what we do, we try to create, and then we mention what type of Jira component it is, right? Could be a task, bug, or story, or an epic, correct? So we typically get into this story mode here, right? So what I did was, while you guys were working, I was just adding some preparatory notes and everything, okay? So I created 3 user stories, the stories that you were already working on. Remember what was that story? For that flight travels and everything, right?
Right.
So what was the first user story, friends? What is the first thing? What is the user story 1?
Flight search,
Right? So you see the flight search.
then
Now,
hotel booking. Okay.
yes, flight search. Now I click on the flight search. Okay. Because I already created the user story, because in the interest of time, I quickly created, right? You just create a story and then you add the story format, right? Now, in real sense, what happens is, can you take a look into the right side and tell me how does the description look like? Read and help me understand how does the description look like?
To me,
Simple,
the
simple.
yeah.
Hmm?
Also, but the first line is fine. It's good. The next paragraph is quite unstructured. There's no end of statement. I mean, it was that in
And spelling
English.
mistakes is also it is there.
It's informal. It's not a.
So tell me, when you are taking down a notes or when you are listening to a meeting conversation with the clients, all of us has the habit of writing using the chat humor, the chat kind of a thing. WhatsApp chats. I do that a lot, right? Sometimes how are you? What I type is HRU. I don't know how many of you do that, right? We are all the chat guys. So when we take down the notes from any sources, and people who are so fond of taking it down, right? They keep on typing stuff. But their notes are good, just that it is not in a proper formal tone. Right? How many of you have faced similar situation before the usage of the tool, friends, where everyone tries to insert in the be description, not clear requirements, right? All these issues would pop up at the time when there is a fight between the testers, developers, and the business analysts, right? Meaning not literally a fight. I mean, there is a disagreement. You say, no, your requirement was not clear, you didn't put it like this, I didn't get it right. Tons of confusion, it happens, right? So to that extent, you see how Atlassian intelligence has built in a feature where you see, right, typical with all, I even normally when I type, I write should like this. So what I do here is the first model of Atlassian intelligence is you click on this, which is a built-in writing assistant, right? As part of the Atlassian intelligence, you click on this, it will give you all Atlassian intelligence features, right from improve the writing, fix spelling and grammar, make it short, brainstorm, summarize the writing, anything and everything. In this case, I'm just going to pick improve description, and you see what happens. Okay. Now you tell me, how does the acceptance criteria look? How does the context look? How does the user story look?
Structured, very clear, and it's with bulletin points.
You see that? This is the beauty of integrating this Atlassian intelligence in the form of description. Uses, right, very clear. That too based on the text, based on that unfriend, the user notes. AI, it has intelligently picked up right from what you wrote into an extremely structured, meaningful acceptance criteria where now you guys can go change it, accept it, and make the rest of the thing, right? So all I need to do is replace it with what it has given. If you still want to refine, you can create, summarize it, make it shorter, change the tone, all things I can do. Right? So now I'm going to do replace. Right? I replace and I save it. right? This is how the context and acceptance criteria comes into play. This is one quick way, isn't it? A very fast, very effective way, because I know these used to be a big problems. The next one, right? I suppose you're all noting, right? Because I know even if you have Jira, you might not have the AI enabled yet, correct? And for people who are completely new to Jira, you just try to observe this part, or anyways, you have the recording. So you can always come back once you're completely familiar with Jira, to come back and make a note of it. The next is hotel booking. Okay, so we'll explore some bunch of features here. Hotel booking, that was the next user story. Now see what is there in the hotel booking description. Do you even understand the language?
Yeah, it's in Hindi.
Hindi.
Acceptance criteria is written in Hindi, not in English.
Not exactly Hindi, English. H, English, H, isn't it? I've had this scenario where my colleague wrote acceptance criteria in Spanish. Okay, there were cases. All I need to do is now, with that tool, improve the work item, right? Improve the description, and you see the results.
So this feature is not yet available for the software data center and server version of Jira. This is
Yes,
only in the cloud one.
that's what I'm saying, right? I'm just sharing you how AI is being enabled. So when the time comes when you are or when your company officially purchases a license, or you can push for the license, say that, hey, I attended this session, my trainer showed me a very interesting way to execute it. Please help get a enterprise license. We can all request for it. No harm in requesting, correct? That in fact tells the enthusiasm of the Scrum Master also, right? Showing that here you've taken interest. A lot of messages you pass it across. All right. So now I can simply replace it properly, right? I can save. Right now you see all this have come into play. Now next, friends, what typically happens, right? When now that it is clear, I would like to further improve, right? And click on the work item. I can ask child work items. Auto. You don't even have to mention the child work items again. Just click on this, suggest child work items, and you see what happens. It will create the tasks automatically. See, implement hotel filtering by location. Are you ready to accept the child work item? Click accept. The task is accepted. It's ready. See, you have created on the left side. New item is created. The next one, I don't display available rooms and prices for the selected hotel. Okay. All right. I click on this. The next item is created, and I can do so on. If you feel every suggestion is making sense, you can simply accept all. How does it find so far, good, guys? Making sense?
It's
And then you can assign it to typical whatever we do, right? Assign it, right? You can change the labels, attach the parents, all this kind of thing.
For fine tuning the description section, we can use AI in Atlassian, right? Is there any other cases where like it will identify what kind of a story and to which epic it belongs, and then add the label or something like that? Does it do?
Can you come again? I didn't get that context.
So for the description section only, we are able to use the AI feature to, fine tune the
No,
details.
no, description section is one, right?
Mm.
The
Mm.
next is I showed you how to create child subtasks,
Yeah, child subtasks,
right?
correct.
This is automated,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which otherwise you tell me you will sit and keep on adding the child subtasks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That is another area which we created. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Will it also be able to identify that which, when maybe epic it belongs to, and like based on if the epic
Yeah.
information is already there,
Now
it can
this
identify some label.
now this is there is a prompt built in, isn't it? So I can create an epic, a new epic or whatever, and then you can execute your prompts however way you want. Right?
Okay.
I can simply say who is working on this, right? Atlassian will tell, right? If you want to write C AI /AI, yeah, right? See here. The moment
Okay, yeah.
you
This.
see /AI, I can create a Jira issue. And if you want to add Atlassian Intelligence, or if you want to generate a list of idea on the topic, you can mention whatever the topic is, right? This is my flight search app, something related to. So it will help you to analyze the question, what I need to focus on. Is there anything that I miss? Is there any offer that I can put in? All kind of brainstorming, prompting related. So it is actually a prompt built within this whole application itself. So merged, blended along with the regular workflows. And when you insert, it simply inserts and you're good to go, right? You have all the comments added. And if you want a quick status update, you can click on the status update, right? Normal English like tone. And it will tell. All right, I insert it. And this is what the Atlassian Intelligence on this particular section is all about, right? Now, if you see, there is also a bunch of automations that you can leverage, like automation here, right? You can click on automations. There's automation tab. One moment. I'm missing the automation tab.
I think this one, that automation section would highlight if there is any workflow that has been.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see, if there is any workflows that I can quickly map it. You can just take a look into that. And this is not share. This is share. Everybody, where is the automation? Did I lose the access? No, I had this automation access, but right now it is.
If you go to project settings, you might be able to see it.
Account. No, I had it actually, automate.
Okay.
I don't know whether that access is gone by any chance. It was a simple, I mean, no.
So for the server version, if I go to project settings,
Let's see if it's
I can see
configure.
automation.
Let me see if there is any configure.
Control F, I don't know.
No, this is more like a configuration part. No, I looks like I would have lost that access. I need to recheck it. Because every time what happens is when the project comes, we actually get the license for demonstrations, right? I think that was the only thing. I'll quickly check it. Story point estimate. No, these are all bug related now. Travel project settings. Automation. Let's see if I have this now. If I have, well, I'm good. Oh, yeah. There's a rule. Okay. Right? So friends, so far, when you created a rule, right? Okay, I got it. When you have normal automation is you create a rule where, the rule, you can mention what kind of rules you wanted to trigger, like, right? If it is a work item related trigger, you added the work item, right? If it is a DevOps related, you mention the branch created. In any type of rule that we can always create, right? Any quick action, manual trigger from a work item. If you want to create a manual trigger where someone, if any person who is logged into a system, they want to trigger a particular rule, we can mention what needs to happen, right? It's more like administrator related, so I'm not in a position to run any script, but I just wanted to show one quick thing which will be more effective for you. Yeah, maybe I'll say if a field value is changed, right? Whenever a field value is changed, I can assign that. Yeah, I can add the assignee, just focus on what the value added, transition, and assign the work item, you click next. So what happens with that is you created a rule. Whenever a value changes for a particular field, the work that item gets assigned to the person whom we have set as assignee, right? This is the normal way actually we do set up rules. Now with AI, friends, right? That's the whole point here. Now with AI, we create with AI. You see what happens when you create a rule automation, it automatically tells you, right? Just like the way how you prompt. When a work item is transitioned, you automatically assign. When all child work items are completed, then close the parent, right? So if you click on this, all the rules are set for you. You see this? For the travel portal, which happened to be my scope. And you click on this, this is now, and I don't want to enable anything because it might, corrupt right now, because it's a demo thing, right? It might go and corrupt the existing data. If it is enabled, and when you trigger, all the child issues are completed, then the parent automatically gets closed. And this is how the work items are scheduled. So which means you don't have to sit and create rules after rules after rules, especially when you are working in a scaled agile environment where there are so many teams working together. All you need to do is come to this automation and understand the rules that needs to be set using the AI, and it creates that whole workflow process for you. So these are all the areas, 4 areas where Atlassian intelligence is applied. Right, so I just have to delete it because it consumes the resources. So
Can we use this AI for any of the dashboards or metrics related as well?
yeah, so it's a typical prompt applications, correct? So if you come back to the reports now, correct? Yeah, you see, these are the standard reports, right?
Yes.
So where if you're properly utilizing, you'll get to see all your reports in one single time, correct? So you have overview, then you have story points related, right? The burn up report, burn down charts, right? These are the standard reports that you get right now.
By default by the
But
application.
yeah, the default ones, right? And it will tell the incomplete ones and so on. Now, if you at this moment, the AI enablement is not applied yet, right? If you really look into where AI would come handy is you want to type a new report in the pure prompt, it should generate that for us. Right now, these are the standard collected reports, right? So maybe it will come in the future because every 3 months they are putting efforts to build newer and newer reports, so newer and newer features. So it is only a matter of time. Right now, these are the standard reports. And if you want anything new to be added, yes, I'm sure. Just like the way how you saw some of the new age automation, new age Atlassian intelligence features are built in, it will be added here also.
We have dashboards, right? So usually after the filters, so we can create it there, not here.
Yes, it's a space to watch out for. Just I'm pretty sure these are all things that are work in progress. Right? The moment it comes, you can simply start typing a new report in whatever way we want. You specify the topics, the parameters and components, the reports will get generated. Now, other than these, what is listed, right? You tell me what kind of reports are we looking for?
We can generate with the JQL queries. Like
Okay.
how many are in progress, how many are in completed, how many bugs are in different statuses.
She's looking for filters and then use that filters to create the dashboards. The third and fourth drop downs, right? And the top ribbon. The top ribbon.
On the
No,
top.
the ribbon at the after projects, you have filters and
dashboards.
yeah.
Right, let's see.
AI test something it is created, something we can see that. AI test is emptiness.
Yeah, it's still not fully up yet. That's why it will add. It is simply the name that they have said. They have not added any AI components yet. Let me see if there is anything else. There is only one.
Yeah, I think it's so when we create this dashboard, we can go to this edit. If you go right side edit, yeah, you'll see gadgets. So you have to pull in some gadget. Yeah, there also. So these are all the gadgets that you see. So like activity stream, like last time, what like it's the recent activities and what are all assigned to me. So it'll filter out all the things that are assigned to you and give. So if you have 5 stories that are assigned to you, if you add this gadget here, this is like a one-stop place where you can add few gadgets and see the and yeah, and it's like an
I agree, but I'm looking more from AI.
yeah.
For me,
This doesn't
this
have
is
an
insignificant.
AI. It doesn't have AI as of now.
And that's all I'm looking for. Because that's the more thing. At this particular area, I'm not finding any AI yet.
No AI.
If at all there is AI, means what do you think can be possible? I'm looking in that sense. Right? If at all you need an AI for the reports, how and what it could be, how it needs to be. We also need to understand that part, right? Where would AI come handy? So standard reports, anyways, they have created.
Yes.
That is my point.
Yeah, I think correct.
They would have thought about all this, Otherwise, if such a big company like Atlassian would not have purposefully, or maybe moved it to later stage. But at this point of time, we wouldn't be able to think of where AI is providing as a value other than the bunch of standard reports that which
And
anyways.
there are so many plugins available that can be used with Jira, like Easy BI
Plugins is
and
fine. Yeah,
everything,
yeah. Plugins are
to
are
create
always.
reports. Yeah,
Plugins, I agree. Plugin,
correct. So,
that is features of Jira,
right. Yeah. So
right?
it's a separate app. Yeah.
Yes, it is a completely separate, task itself. I am more focused on where AI would come in. So that when I'm thinking out loud from a dashboard standpoint, correct? Now, I've not used it, AI in dashboards. Normally, for me, what I do for dashboards is I work with Julius. If I have a bunch of data, I extract it in an Excel or a CSV and then have Julius help me create all those dashboards and everything. Or then secondary, I use Power BI. Power BI, if you have heard of the tool called Microsoft's Power BI, it's a Power Business Intelligence, which comes with AI handy. So that I use extensively. I connect it with the databases, using the APIs and extract it. So that's how it is, friends.
AI in reports can help us, like when it is only showing us the reports that this is happening, this is the burn down chart, this is the. But if it will create a complete summary for us, like this is the thing, this is incomplete, this is the risk, this is what you have to complete first, then you will be on the track on the burn down chart. So if
You see an assisting, right?
assisting for, yes,
Yeah, more of an assisting process. But I'm not sure if that would make sense. I'm sure these would have been a point of discussions, but how effective is that? They if you really think this will be very effective, where someone new who wants to get side by side notification and all, I'm not sure if they would invest time on that, because every time a new feature on AI, it is expensive.
yeah,
Very expensive. So they will think 10 times to see if there is a real need of AI in that given context.
exactly.
Every tool for that matter. So I think that's about it, friends, right? So whole two bunch, big 2 days, right? Now you want to quickly log into the Miro and complete your learning pass so that we all can, right? Call it a day. Quick, 10 minutes should be enough, right? We don't need to step on each other's toes. I'm sharing the same board, right? And you quickly come add, and I can share that with you. Then I will have a quick closing comments. So here is the link. All of you. Yeah.
So from 2 days we had learned. I mean, we had discussed about multiple AI tools, right? I don't know which one you frequently use much. At least in this, you might not be using regularly everything, but only in the organizations or outside, it might be very few, which is gives
So
more, right?
the core LLMs that I use is Claude and ChatGPT a lot. Okay, that's the two ones mainly. And then I use Mermaid for a lot of flow diagrams. Miro board is my favorite. I use for a lot on collaborations, brainstorming ideas and everything. Right? And then of course, Julius and Napkin. That's all. These are the 4 tools which I use extensively.
These all are the
And these
free
are
ones you are using or paid
yeah,
ones you are using?
premiums. I told, right, because
You
of
took
my
it
field
few.
I am in, and and then if you want to know the personal tools I use, I can show you a very quick overview of that if you guys are interested. I use something called as eDraw.
Sure, please show it us. I think if
eDraw.
others also interested.
Okay, so you guys finish up this and just add all of
eDraw.
the things, the Miro thing, and I'll show you my personal stuff.
And what are the applications these are? I think it is stable and it is using from almost years, right? Like
Oh,
ChatGPT from 2 years.
yeah, absolutely.
Usually, how much cost it will be? It might not be everything same, but around to know.
So which tool are we talking about?
Mermaid, Julius.
Mermaid is very cheap,
Okay.
$7. Julius also is cheaper. I think somewhere $15 it should start.
Napkin.
Napkin right now beta version is free. That's what I'm saying. It could become what do you say? It will get into the pricing mode. It's a beta testing stage. That's why they are given all features for free. Julius is not
$15, you said.
15 it comes.
Clade.
The Claude is $20, right? And Zapier also. Zapier I only use for that's why I only have 2 small licenses. That too the upgrade team had given. That's what I use.
What about Workic?
Workic pricing is also, but I personally do not use that unless I have test case. But I know people using it for multiple other purposes. So that also comes in $15 range.
Okay.
$15 Workic comes. Workic comes with a lot of other features. We just use because we are focused on testing today. It creates code.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like
SQL, bunch of tasks.
database, everything they are doing it.
Yes. It will instantly create what do you say, a coding in an application itself.
Yes, it is. Anything for the business analyst point of view, specifically, from other LLM we can get the prompt, we can get the result, but specifically
what?
for the business analyst, like many times we got a reference of the application, we need to define the scope and all those things, like team.
Oh, business analyst app. So that's a complete stream itself we have. I handle AI for business analysts as a 3-day workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be some of the tools which are overlapping, but exclusively, if you really look into the business analyst part, our case studies will vary, right? Even though there will be overlapping, like, of course, business analyst will be part of the agile, correct? So there will be overlapping features. Overlapping components will be there, but exclusively people who are, what do you say, on the stream of this product owner, we give that.
Okay, because I was searching all those things to help out the team. Like I do have many of the list for the, for the developers, but looking for the business analyst mainly.
Because, see, business analyst as such, the name as such, if you see, people uses it in different contexts, right? Sometimes I've seen a data analyst is called as a business analyst. Some places there is business analyst as a title and a role itself, right? So the question comes is, what is the role of a business analyst in an agile capacity, right? If you really look into the stakeholders of agile, there is no such thing called as business analyst. It was
Yes,
an
it is.
it was an introduced term.
Product owners.
It is right. It is brought into the mix actually.
But many of the service-based companies use the business
That's
analyst.
what I'm saying. They are using it because that's convenient for them.
Yes, it is.
We have the product
So
owner
ideally,
who has the
tell me at a high level, what is a business analyst role supposed to be? Very high level, right? We don't want to hang
Gathering
on.
the informations from the client and making the functionally specific document.
As simple as that. And
Yes.
from functional specification or business requirement document, the rest of the things fall in place, right? Their
Yes.
core area is there. Since the evolution of the agile, friends, I have been part of engagements, right, which was transitioning completely to agile, where all the so-called business analysts were retrained, repurposed into the role of product owners.
Yes, it is.
Right? So they might be in the junior, senior capacity, but they were that's what I'm saying. Product owner is the critical component. I seriously don't understand why people bring in that context of a business analyst there, but that's the reality. A lot of companies are doing that. That means there is still a big gap between the core business people, the clients, customers, or whoever, right? Versus the team sitting on the ground who are developing solutions. So that gap, that's what is filled by the business analyst.
I would add to this, for example, we are working on one release, okay, and there are we are working on iterations every sprint. We are building on top, putting the code in the staging and everything. Now the business analyst here, what work if there's a business analyst? So that person is working on the second phase of which is the release, second release. So first release is like something that we are giving the application to them, which replaces a old classic version, way of working. So we're giving them the application. Now we want to, have a build onto that and have a better way. So in the meantime, the team is working on the first release. The business analyst is working on to getting the requirements for the second release, which is also expanding to in a phase of 6 months. So the time frame for the second release is 6 months. In between, we have deployments that is there. But the major release, when we say that, okay, this is now deployed and released for the customers. So that business analyst is working on getting the data ready and having some high level dev map ready, so that when we are ending the first release, the technologists can start creating small chunks of stories, or Scrum Masters and PO helps there. And yeah, they are working futuristic, not for the current sprint maybe, because obviously we have to have 2 sprints ready. The Scrum Master's responsibility is to have backlogs ready for the next 2 sprints. Otherwise, there will be ambiguity, anxiety within the team that we have work or not. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, well said. Okay, that your experience comes into play. Absolutely.
Yeah. So in our team, we have a business analyst who is actually doing that. So every sprint, she's having a story.
So see, that's what I'm saying, right? People are utilizing that role. I would call that as a capability role, right? In the terms which I mentioned, these are capability role where they do this, and that's why they call as a business analyst, right? Technically, there shouldn't be any roles as such, but because of the various gaps and various things like what you said, they have carved out a role. They have coined out a role, and then that needs to be. But again, it's a repurposing role. And at the end of the day, it's all about the organization. If they feel the need that needs to happen, then it needs to happen. As simple as that. But it is almost every company, and that's the reason why there's a huge demand for business analysts today.
Yeah, there's a huge demand.
Huge demand. And that's the reason why, when I handle this whole, that's a 3-day workshop again for business analysts. Exclusively, all case study scenarios and everything, comes into that space where, building the skill of asking the right questions. Isn't it? Isn't that a very big um, skill development requirement for a business analyst, right? How do you ask the right questions?
Yes, this is also one of their thing that they have to challenge the requirements also, like not
Exactly. Not blindly accept. Yes.
blindly accepting. So the users come with 1 or 2 requirements. You have to do the analysis at your end, break it
Very
down,
good.
and then
That's the
ask the
reason.
question that why do you need it?
Exactly.
Why can't it be this way?
Very well said. Well said. No, absolutely. That's the lack of training, lack of understanding of that role. People don't have time. They want to join day one. They want to plug into the project and start working, right? That's how people look at it. Beautiful friends. I suppose you're all done, right? So I'll close this, Miro, and share this to the upgrade person, right? He can share it with you. Okay, so friends, closing comments, right? So I believe it was a big learning experience for all of you guys. As I said, my focus has been on purely skill enablement, right? So task, yes, you guys finish up the small 2 projects, whatever is there, the project, and submit it, and your certificate will be issued, right? So any overall questions before I share my contacts and everything else?
Yeah, Arun, one quick question. We have in our organization, we have this new thing coming up called support models for various agile teams. We are categorizing these support models as high touch, low touch, and medium touch. So as name suggests, high touch is where you involve with the team at various levels, including you engage with the team throughout the meetings and coach the teams. So mostly high touch teams are the teams which are new teams, and low touch teams are the ones which are mature. So is there anything any way our AI can help in getting high touch teams to medium touch to low touch? Is there any way or any, I mean, is there any such kind of thinking across that this is the teams are there, they have to be modeled like this, they have to be taught like this, so that the interaction and the amount of effort which a agility lead or a scrum master puts for one particular team gets reduced over a period of time?
I'm trying to understand the context.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's better we have a phone conversation around this.
Okay, sure.
Amit, I'd love to hear, right? I think that requires some deeper thought in what you are trying to convey versus my understanding, right? So from a team standpoint, I'm trying to relate it to one of the recent asks from a workshop I recently delivered in Goa, right? Some similar ask had come. So I wanted to see if it is really aligned to or close to what they had also requested. That's why I said we can have a one-on-one discussion, and I'll be sharing my details.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
We'll do that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, friends. So the closure comments, you can last 3 slides alone. Okay. So if you can see the whole world of artificial intelligence, whenever people think, right? So let me share the screen finally, and then we'll wrap. See, this is the image I drew, right? Using the AI itself. This is how the connection between human intelligence and artificial intelligence is. Right? So automation, AI, this is never going to replace human. Of course, there are monotonous jobs, repeated tasks that might get replaced. But as long as we stay creative and competent, continuously building the skills. It's always very, as you would have seen, a lot of our repeated tasks can be eliminated with the help of artificial intelligence, right? So this is more acting like a supporting companion, right? And you can see that in the next 1 year or so, newer and newer models would shape. Newer and newer way of working with AI is going to evolve, and that's how the roadmap is looking like, friends. So that's why, as I said, since I've been focusing a lot on the creative intelligence, this is my first book I launched, that too exclusively for teachers. The people who all have connection with the school teachers and everything, please do share your thing about me. And because I realized that a person doesn't like a subject, or a kid doesn't like a subject, not because of the subject, but because of the way it is taught. And that's what paved the way for me to share this book. I handle workshops for enabling better engagement with the students at the school level, right? So that's this one. And last 2 months back, I got this one, where, remember, we just spoke about the asking the right questions, isn't it? That's one of the very skill-based events. So I have given scenarios and situations where, how do you ask the right questions? And then I have given the responses for you to actually compare it against and see where is the gap and how we can build that skill. Right? That's one part of it. So a complete end-to-end, a comprehensive view of people from all walks of life, right? Whoever is a non-IT wants to come into the IT, right? How does it? So I saw the struggle when I handle workshops where I found this, and that triggered me that triggered me to actually come out with this book, friends. So it's going well, grace of God, right? So this is one. And my favorite quote is, the capacity to learn is a gift, ability to learn is a skill, the willingness to learn is a choice, and which is what you have done, right? So this is my contact. Please stay in touch with me. I know all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Insta, anything you feel like, and that's my site as well, right? So, and my contact number. So with that, friends, right, last thing is, kindly, share your valuable feedback, right? Not just numeric, as much subjective as you can be, because I believe a lot in the qualitative feedback. If there is anything that I can, focus on, improve on, and do my best. So that's about it, friends. Over to you guys. Anything you want to share, talk, or we can wrap up.
It's a very good and session to understand what kind of tools we have and how we can actually relate it with our day-to-day work wise. So I think we need more practice, and then we will be very used to.
Absolutely.
And I have another question, Arun. So how usually the CSM is very much popular, so everyone is aware of it. How much this certification is popular outside? So that I wanted to hear it from you. I haven't heard it outside much.
No. CSM certification is always a tool, and especially any certification for that matter is a filtering criteria.
Yes.
Right? All certification only tests your knowledge. There is no certification in ground which tests the skills, isn't it? Because it will test the knowledge. You prepare something, you write the exam, given the situation. And that's how it usually happens. Only in some of the advanced Scrum Master certification, where you will find a lot of scenario-based questions, then that actually tests your skill. If unless and until you're part of that experience, you will be not able to, right? But to me, personally, I keep the certifications away from, right? I take certification just because I have to, right? Because people look for, are you a Microsoft certified instructor? Are you IC Agile certified instructor? Correct. But the skill and actual execution is always up to us. Now that's something that we have to continuously evolve. Certification is only a simple thing to just put it as a badge and call out loud. If at all you are looking for job change, just to get out of that filtering part, nothing else. Yeah.
Agree.
All right, friends. Sharp 7:30. Anyone? Anything else?
Yeah, thanks, Arun. It was a great session.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amit.